The Candy character, she came from, like everyone else, grew up in a dysfunctional family where her mom was an alcoholic and she was given over to a foster parent, because the mom couldn't handle her anymore. So she found herself in high school around the wrong people, and the bottom line was she wanted affirmation, she wanted attention that she never received because of her dysfunctional family lifestyle. And so she wanted so much to be accepted, she wanted so much to have a male figure in her life that she didn't have as a child. And so when Poochie came into her life, although she knew that his lifestyle was wrong, she hooked on to him because of the things that he would speak into her ears. She wanted to be free and live a life that gave her the affirmation, but not necessarily through the wrong ways, if that's making sense. You know, in other words, like the old adage, she's looking for love in all the wrong places, and that's just what Candy was doing. My role in the Awakening series came about in a panel-type discussion with the creator of the Awakening, Apostle Clip3 Turner. And as we were sitting around the briefing table, he came across the name. His sister's name was Candy, and that's how he created the name. And at that time, we were going over the various characterizations, the various characters, and that was a role that he appointed me to be. The show impacted me personally greatly, simply for the fact that my character, Candy, was a prostitute. She was, you know, a very worldly woman, was involved with drugs and cocaine. And then later on in the show, my character found the love of Jesus. In my personal life, that was a challenge for me to play the first part of that, because I've never done drugs before, so that was a great challenge. But it helped me to identify with people that are on drugs. It helped me to identify with that type of a transition that people are seeking to go through. In other words, wanting to give up the drugs, but not knowing how, wanting to get out of a vicious cycle of a love triangle, you know, and certainly we all go through that in our younger years. So it impacted me greatly, and it showed me that not only on camera how real God is, but off camera how real God is. And so I had to learn to take off that mantle, if you will, because I didn't want to walk around with that character of the drug addict Candy or the flirtatious Candy on me. So every time we would begin our productions, we would pray, and then afterwards, before we would leave, we would pray. So that would help to, you know, to continue just walking without that Candy mantle on me, or that character on me, and that's helped a lot. What life experience helped to develop my character? I have to think about that one, because it was such a challenge. I had to rely on the Holy Spirit. I absolutely had to rely on God, because I even told our director at that time, how can I do this? I never did drugs. How can I do? I never even smoked a cigarette. How do I do this? And it was the hardest thing for me. And you know, even sometimes when I would watch my acting, I just cringe, like, oh, you know, because I guess people are always critical. You're always critical of yourself. But what life experiences, that's a hard question, because I just had to rely on God, because, you know, like I said, the only thing I could really identify with would be the love triangle thing, you know, because as a younger person I was like that, you know, involved in that kind of thing, but it wasn't to that extent that the Candy character was involved. I loved it, but it was so exhausting. I mean, so exhausting. A 5-minute shot may take 7 hours. I mean, it was just incredibly exhausting, because everyone was working, and so after work we had a meeting time, say 7 p.m. And so by the time we got the equipment set up and got the lighting just right and everyone had on their correct clothing, it was about 8:30, 8:45. By the time we start shooting, it was, you know, 9:15, and so it was long hours after that. And sometimes things would just happen. equipment would break, and so you'd have to come back the next day and start from the point where you left off the previous day. And so sometimes it just took many hours into the wee hours of the morning, but every minute I loved it. I started acting when I was a child. I always had a love for the theater, for the arts. I used to do children's theater at Governor State University and in University Park. I think I was in 8th grade. We did several things there. I've always just had a love for acting. Right now, currently, I'm a principal of Liberty Academy, and I've been in this position for to be 8 years. So actually, since since my time on the Awakening, since moving from the director of our local Bible college here at the ministry, I've been elevated to the principal over our school, which is child development through 12th grade, and that's going very well. I also write children's books, and I have a wonderful husband and 2 small children, ages 7 and 4. And I just love my family.